Give you a little background about Credit Plus. We are the number 3 in size CRA. That's what the bureaus tell us anyway. We are a privately held company. Our president is a very innovative guy that after 2008, if you were in this business in 2008, you know what turmoil that was. He really stepped up and really became innovative with some of our product offerings. There's a big perception that we fight as credit salespeople that credit is credit. Motor oil is motor oil, right? And so it's kind of an identity crisis with us. We're always trying to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. We've done that in a couple of different ways that I'll walk you through, and no way I can talk for 50 minutes, so you guys will probably get out of here and get you a little early start to lunch. But I'll roll into it. My background, I've been in this business since 1985. Back in those days, we used to actually type our credit reports. So it's come a long way from that point. And as I said, even since 2008, lots of things have changed. We've got one product that really differentiates us from our competition, and I'll go over it with you in a minute, that I think that you will find extremely useful. So let me get rolling on it. This is our little cartoon spokesman. His name is Max Close. He's 88 years old. Our company was founded in 1928. We are, as I said, a privately owned company. We're based in Salisbury, Maryland. I live in the DFW area in a little town called Southlake. We've got about 6,500 mortgage customers across the country. This is some of our product offerings, or most of them, in fact. We, of course, do tri-merge credit reports. We have a product that's called undisclosed debt verifications. Quick show of hands, anybody know what UDV or UDM is? Are you familiar at all with it? Anybody? Okay. All right, got a couple. I'll come back to it in a minute. Fraud Plus is a fraud product that we compete with Interthinks on. It's our own proprietary product that we developed over a period of about 4 years. It comes in 3 pieces. One of the pieces is the borrower identity piece we attach to our credit reports. So it's very helpful in trying to identify if you've got an identity or a validation problem with your borrower. You see that on the credit report rather than having to wait deeper into the loan cycle to figure out after you've ordered your fraud product if you have some kind of an issue. We were the first reseller that Equifax allowed to resell the work number. There's some cool benefits of using that with us. We also, of course, process 4506Ts, tax transcripts. We use 2 processing centers. We use the Texas Center and we use the Utah Center. I'm not sure if your current provider of that has been experiencing delays or not, but we constantly battle with the IRS on that front. It's just they're not very responsive, they're short-staffed, and so the reason we use 2 processing centers is that it lets us load balance. If we're having slow response from Utah, we'll take your order at our own expense and ship it over to Texas so that you're not sitting there, 5-6 days into the process and trying to hold up a closing or starting to impact your pocketbook. So that's the thing about our 2 processing centers. Of course, we do Social Security number verifications, SSA 89s. We do flood zones determinations. The VODA product that we have is not a traditional verification of deposit where you send a form to the bank and it comes back to you. It's an electronic bank statement product that lets you send an invitation to your borrower. They authorize you to go into their account. Some of the older borrowers are not that great with this, but if you're dealing with millennials, they have no problem with it. It really is kind of an up-and-coming product. So that's what our electronic bank statement product is. In the last couple of years, one of our competitors has kind of been leaking oil, for lack of a better term. We've been able to grab some of their top executives, and one of them was a guy that was running a huge QC division for one of the, as I said, one of our competitors. So last couple of years we've started doing QC review. We have a pre-funding solution and a post-closing solution as well. We provide AVMs. iQualifier is our unique differentiator that I mentioned a minute ago. The soundbite on iQualifier is that it allows you to take the guy that you're not going to work with, the 550 score, the guy that you just cannot even, you don't even want to run the scoring tools, the what if simulator. You don't want to spend the money to even put that much in him because you know you can't do that deal right now. We have it's for your declined loans. You put them in our iQualifier service. 6 to 8 months later, about 20% of those people come out at their score target. When they're ready, we send you an email, we send them an email, we reconnect you two guys, and you've got a deal that you really didn't have to do much work for, or at least a qualified prospect. I'll touch iQualifier again in a minute. Lending Hand is a service that, let me back up. Do you guys use the what if simulator and the scoring tools? Anybody? Y'all familiar with that stuff? Okay. So what we've found over the years is that loan officers are extremely busy, right? I mean, they're trying to get on to the next deal. So Lending Hand is essentially just a service where you outsource that function to us. Some guys just, I don't want to take the time to learn how to use that. I know it's a cool tool. Lending Hand is a department that we have that has 5 or 6 people just in that one department, and you'll ship an order over to them. 24 hours later, they'll send you back a roadmap that tells your borrower exactly the steps they need to take. So it takes you out of that process. Kind of an innovative deal that we've come up with. We do business credit reports. We do pre-screens if you're ever wanting to do a mailing list. We buy those straight from the bureaus. Our Score Plus and Rapid Rescore, or we call Rapid Rescore Score Plus. The guy that runs that has been in the business longer than I have. Very, very good at what he does. Very accessible. If you've got a rescore that you're wondering where it is, what the status of it is, you can get straight to the department head and say, hey, what's going on with it? Right now, TransUnion is returning rescores in about 2 to 3 days. Equifax and Experian are pretty slow because, you know, we're kind of at a high water mark in our industry. Everybody is busy. And so it has really slowed down Equifax and Experian a little bit. But the good thing about having Brant Cooper is, as I said, he's accessible, an old dog, and really a good resource. We're able to send out your risk-based pricing notices, and then we can provide you with an audit report later to make sure that, you know, so that you can have that as a backup. If you're not wanting to mail those, that's something we can do. We can do OFAC batch searches. SmartPay is a feature that I believe is similar to what your current vendor is offering. I think they call it, what is it, Start My Application or something like that. SmartPay enables you to send a link or turn your email signature or any place on a personal website into a link where your applicant can click, go in, pay for their credit report. They get back their scores. The report comes back into your system, and you know, you haven't had to bear that expense of buying that credit report. It's on them. So SmartPay, really cool feature. Credit Plus University, I'll come back to it in a minute and tell you some of the classes that we offer on it, but it's essentially a live instructor-taught website where our employees will teach you how to run the scoring tools. You can sign up for it, or you can listen to recorded webinars. We've got several topics that are on our Credit Plus University. Really good resource for new loan officers, people coming on, or if you're just wanting to get trained up a little bit more. The Beyond Bundled piece there is that a lot of our customers, especially the size of you guys, have begun to bundle their price into one credit report. So you're paying one price for the credit report, all supplements, I'll reissue so that you're not having 10 supplements and now all of a sudden you've got a $80 closing disclosure is weird, and you're, you know, all of that. It takes some of that process out of it. As Greg mentioned, we are integrated with LendingQB. I'll show you a little slideshow on that, just a couple of slides that will be key. You guys know way more about LendingQB probably than I do, but the history of LendingQB is that the company that owns LendingQB also owns the platform that we operate on. So essentially, our credit reporting platform was built with LendingQB in mind. The credit reporting platform came first, then came LendingQB. So all of the integrations are there. There is no tick fee like you're experiencing right now. You know, when you have to leave the LendingQB or the LOS, you're getting charged right now, I think, 50 cents. With us, there's no tick fee to order any other products. And you can, as Greg said, order everything that you need to do. We do, I know it looks like all the reverse folks may be in the other room, but we do have an integration with Reverse Vision. And our credit is integrated in there. Again, my education on Reverse Vision probably is not where it should be, but you do have the ability to order other products inside the Reverse Vision LOS with us, because we've enabled our credit reports with a little link on them that says add product. So it's just a hot link. You're inside Reverse Vision, you view our credit report, you click add product, and now you're able to go get anything else that you want to order. Okay, so most of those products I mentioned have some spot somewhere inside the mortgage loan life cycle. And I'll spare you from going into each one of those. Customer service highlights. Credit Plus University, as I said, it's a great training tool, something that you should really take advantage of if you decide to come over to us. Our customer service department has over 200 people in it. We train them for 6 months before we cut them loose. We've got 2 industry veterans, again, 20-year-plus veterans that run our customer service department, and we've got 3 processing centers. One is in our corporate headquarters in Maryland, Salisbury, Maryland, outside of Baltimore. Other one is in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there's a new one that we have in Colorado. Sales support. So when you use, I'm obviously your credit rep, right? So use me as a concierge. We're a big company. You'll have contacts that I'll provide you to all of our departments, but when you need direction or need somebody to work the back door for you, where is this, what's going on, I'm your guy, okay? But if that situation arises where you need me this morning and I'm at a conference or speaking somewhere, we have a sales support group that is a group of about 6 people that really support our sales team. We've got 35 sales reps across the country. So when I'm out of pocket or you can't wait on me to respond to you in an email, sales support can pick that email up or take that phone call and get you to the right spot, and it has been a lifesaver for us as salespeople, and has really a great benefit for you guys. Our corporate office answers their phones until 8 o'clock Eastern. So if you're needing help, you can get it late in the day. And by the way, if I'm on a topic and you got a question, stop me down, okay? Come on, what do you got? You will find out, you should find out the next day. So if somebody's trying to steal your deal on a trigger lead, which is happening now, and has happened in the past, you'll get it pronto. So if it's not the next day, it should be within 24 to 48 hours. And it will show up as an inquiry, right? You'll see that inquiry from whoever it is. I will. I'm coming to it. Okay, anything else? No extra cost for SmartPay. No, it's all or none, but it could be by branch. So if corporate doesn't want to do the one flat rate, we could set that up for a particular branch. The electronic bank statements are something that I'd just have to demo with you. It's about a 10-minute demo. It's real quick. We have a verifications VP that I bring in, and he will actually show you how the email goes out, how they click on it. It takes them, and then once you get that, it lets you go into their bank account. I mean, you're in their bank account because you have their credentials. Yeah. And that's why some of the old guys like me may be a little hesitant to that, but younger people are like, whatever. And a good thing about that product is that it lets you identify big deposits. It lets you source deposits that may, mess up your deal if they're all, getting a big gift transferred in or whatever. But it's cool for that because you see the whole month and you can go back in repeatedly without being charged for it. Okay, so if you decide to come with us and want to talk about the electronic bank statements, hit me up and we'll do a little quick 10-minute demo. It is. Fannie Mae is the one that kicked it off. The engine underneath that is a company called Account Check, and they went through huge vetting with Fannie and the bureaus to make sure that it was, all good, and Fannie has endorsed it essentially. So yes, it is definitely compliant. Yeah, we haven't so far. It's for us, the problem has been acceptance by the consumer, the borrower. And like I said, it's older folks are not hip, and younger guys are all about it. So it's definitely a tool that you can use if you'd like to. You can communicate, inside of our systems. You'll be able to see who's working on your supplement, who's working on that file. You can upload documents in there. Of course, there are notes back and forth. You'll have their phone number if you need to speak to them. We've got a feature in our system that's called total cost of borrower. So when you're, let's say you're working on a purchase deal, and you've had charges back from the fall, and now you've got some charges, you pulled a new credit report in the spring, you can come back as you're closing that thing and run a total cost for borrower, and it just shows you every charge you've had on there. You can submit it with your package, and is a great way just to sum up how much money you've spent, just to make sure that your branch is not eating that cost and that you're getting it all on your CD. 24-hour response time right now on 70% of our supplements. That has been as high as 80–85%. Again, we're kind of at record volumes right now, but still really good turnaround time. Our president is huge on staffing, and we are most of the time overstaffed. And of course, if you've got a 911, an emergency, and you're waiting on something, then that's where I come in, and we'll get it taken care of. On our credit reports, there is an expandable link where you can blow it up to see how each bureau is reporting that item. So your borrower is telling you that he has gotten an item corrected on his credit report, but yet you're looking at our credit report and it's still on there. You can expand our trade lines and you can look exactly how each bureau is reporting it, and you can tell him, look, it's still not right on this one bureau. So really cool little feature. Credit Radar is a cover page. It's an optional cover page that you can put on your credit report. It's just a quick way to scan the report so you're not having to look down through it. It's not on that sample credit report that's in your package, but it tells you, are there any disputed items? Is this borrower score trending up or down? And so that's just an optional thing. You can see on our credit reports, if you look at them, as I said, we've got 140 formats, so if you do not like that format, we can settle on another one. That's just our most popular one. They're color-coded on the left-hand side. A quick way to scan them is just look for the red. If you see red, it's a bad trade line, and it's something that you need to address. We can sort the trade lines however you want. You want your derogatory up top, your public records, whatever order you want it sorted in, we can make that happen. So here's a little bit about undisclosed debt verifications. Undisclosed debt is a new debt that's added by the consumer after the original credit report was pulled, not taken into consideration in the underwriting decision of the loan. Okay, why is it important? Main thing is a repurchase, right? I mean, that's the pain point. And with LQI or refresh reports, there is a gap, especially with TRID, with you having to, with the 5-day process at the end, once you issue that, you're blind. It's a blind spot. You don't know what's going on with this person's credit report after that. So if something comes up, it's back on the company and can be bad news. So here are the advantages of the refresh report, right? You pull it 10 days prior to closing. There's no credit reports. It's instant data. The disadvantages are it's just a snapshot of the activity that's on it, okay? And there's a gap between the report and closing. With undisclosed debt verification, once it's activated, it's essentially a daily refresh report. So it's telling you what is going on with that report every day. And compared to the refresh report process, so when you pull a refresh report, you pull the report. I would assume right now you're using some kind of compare tool. We've got a compare tool where you can compare your brand new refresh report to your old report. It tells you, hey, I've got 3 new trade lines, I've got 2 new inquiries. That all requires labor, right? Somebody's got to get into that and look at it. With using undisclosed debt monitoring, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to pull a refresh report at the end, or the LQI report, because UDM is going to tell you if you've got any issues with it, okay? So stop me again if you need to. Of all new trade lines, I won't go all the way into this slide, but of all new trade lines that do show up, 22% of them come 10 days prior to closing, okay? So, as without having to explain that, I mean, that can be a problem. What happens is your borrower gets his clear to close. Hey, and now I got to go buy my new furniture for mama or whatever, right? Time to buy a new car. Whatever the scenario is, that's when it's happening, is once you've given them the clear to close. The people that are doing that, 74% of them are your scores of greater than 720. Okay, so that's kind of the breakdown on that. This is just the process that you've got right now using the LQI report. Pull it on October 1st, refresh on November 8th, close it on November 16th. With the undisclosed debt monitoring, it's everything that I just told you. You're getting alerts all throughout the process. This is what shows up on the undisclosed debt verifications. All right, you're getting notified of new trade lines, new inquiries, secondary reissue, new BKs, collections, lates, new payments, and you can do balances. So if you're trying to, you've closed a loan, it's still on your warehouse line. Now the guy goes up and charges up his cards. His capacity of credit is maxed out now. We've seen it where investors won't buy that loan, right? Because they're saying, I don't want that thing, and now it's stuck on your warehouse line and it's a problem for you. So that's where balance capacity can come into play and can be a very useful resource for you. LOs love this thing, right? It tells you if your borrower's shopping. I mean, bottom line, is this guy, out there shopping on his own, or has another company gone to the bureaus to buy a trigger lead, right? We do not, Credit Plus does not sell trigger leads, all right? We never have. Some companies do, but, you may be aware of this, but the bureaus, when it comes to selling trigger leads, like from us, we can't stop them from doing that. Their stance is, look, this is our data. We're going to sell it however we want to. So a tip for you to not have, that makes it a little harder for them to get access to your borrower is in your LOS up front, don't put in their phone number. Don't put in your borrower's phone number in there. Don't put in their email address, right? Because the Bureau is going to see all that, sell that as part of their information. That doesn't stop it all the time, but it just makes it a little harder for them to do. Questions on that? Okay, obviously your reputation's at stake, right? The last minute fire drill is a deal killer, right? You got a brand new realtor, you've been working on them for years and years, you finally get them to send you a deal. You got a problem at the end of it because you don't know about a new debt. Now, you know, you got some guy with boxes and a moving truck and a mad realtor, and it could have been avoided with using undisclosed debt verification. This is I know it's kind of hard to read, but this is what the report would look like. Tells you when you started monitoring it, any new trade lines that pop up, and any new notifications that we need to let you know about. Okay, any questions on UDV? Great. All right, Fraud Plus. As I said, this is our own proprietary fraud product. This top piece, the borrower detail, we include at the back of our credit reports. Okay, so if you've got an identity problem, you're going to see it on the addendum, and I think it is at the back of that credit report, kind of what it looks like. And we've got a feature on there that lets you clear those, where you can click on the credit report and clear it. Say, okay, this is what I've done to take action to clear this problem, so that you again are addressing it early. And then we've also, of course, got a property detail piece and a participant detail piece. We've got all the different, you know, attributes of it. Anything that you want to add on to it, essentially we can do. Okay, verifications. Tax transcripts. Already talked about our 2 processing centers. We really try to help you with rejections. We don't charge, or for a company your size, we won't charge for a rejection, but they happen. Right now, that is probably our biggest pain point, is the IRS. They're killing us. But we're fighting them back as hard as we can. SSA 89s, our integrations direct with the SSA. Our verification of employment, as I mentioned, we were the first reseller that Equifax allowed to resell the work number. We do not require a salary key. So I don't know if you ever had to track down a borrower to get their salary key. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we can. We're not always, but we do have the ability to. Great question. Thank you. No salary key required on the work number. We can price it with or without income verification. You may not always need it to have income verification, but we can price it that way as well if you need it. It kind of helps you reduce the number of vendors. We've run into some people who are reluctant to put the charge for the work number on their closing disclosure because they haven't received their invoice from Equifax yet. I don't know how y'all do it, but with us and our total cost for borrower, and even inside of our website, you can click, there's a link in the landing page for each borrower. This is print invoice, and it just shows you every charge on there. You can get that submitted, make sure that you're getting reimbursed for that. Yes?
Sometimes it's lump overtime, regular salary, and everything. Would you guys be taking over that to get the correct information, or do we still have to go down, track it down, and get them reported back?
A little of both. We will fight if it's wrong. There is a dispute process that we have with our Equifax rep. But if it's a situation where they've lumped in bonuses, you know, all of that, then it's rough, because Equifax, you know, they really don't know how the employer has broken it down, and so then, yeah, you do have to go through all the hoops. It sounds like you're. Yeah, in that scenario, it would. It would, unfortunately. QC review, I won't stay on this long. Again, we got a pre-funding, post-closing solution. The guy that runs it is a 25-year industry vet. Great little division that we've started up. Credit Plus University, back to it. These are the classes that we offer. Welcome to Credit Plus, Master the Power of Score Wizard. We can show you how to use those scoring tools, how to extend the time frame on that. So most of the default setting on that, as you probably know, is 30 days, right? Rapid rescore. There's a way that you can extend that to 6 months, and so you can kind of become, you know, the borrower's consultant on what they need to be doing over that 6 month time. The instructors in this class will get you to be an expert on using that, and it might make a difference in a couple of loans here and there. Lending Hand, I've already talked to you about that. We'll talk to you about tax return verifications, and of course the biggest thing going on right now with us is trended data. It's coming, it's going to be crazy, but with Fannie driving that train, there's not really anything any of us can do about it. Okay, iQualifier. Any questions before I hop into this? All right, so iQualifier is I kind of explained it to you a minute ago, but there is no expense to you on iQualifier unless you choose the option for your branch to pay for it, okay? So here's how it works. When you run into the person that is the 550 score, you just can't work with them, right? You can go look at our website, iQualifier.com. You can refer that borrower over to iQualifier, and they have a chance to enroll in the website. Each one of you will have your own individual promo code, all right? It's a promo code where you can send your family, your friends, anybody to iQualifier. They can plug in their promo code and get a free TransUnion credit report, all right? If they use your promo code. Otherwise, it's going to try to charge them $5.95, okay? It's a great little marketing tool as a side benefit to your realtors. Look, you know, this guy's telling you a crazy story of he's got some credit problems. You're not even sure as a realtor you want to drive them around town. Have them go to this website, pull their credit report, share it with you, and maybe the realtor decides, yeah, I want to go, you know, I'll work with them. It's just a good little value add thing that you can do for realtors. But once they do, and then it will ask them if they want to enroll in that service. It's $24 a month for the borrower, all right? Doesn't cost you anything. Again, the stats are that about 20% of them come out at their score target in about 6 or 8 months. So if it was a deal that you were not going to do anything with anyway, it's a great place to send them. You know, it's better than credit repair. They're not going to come back with tons of disputed accounts that you're going to have to fight through later. Yes, ma'am. No, it's and it's a soft pull as well. Okay, so it's TU is the only bureau that we could get our deal cut with on this. Not too strong. Well, and this, by the way, is our own proprietary product, all right? You're right, most credit reporting companies do sell all the same stuff. We sell credit, 4506Ts, yada, yada, right? This is something that that is unique to us, and no one else has this. We've got huge companies that you would know the name of that are using this right now. They've flipped it into this home buyer model, which I'll talk to you about in just a second, but just the engine under this is really cool. The score that they get is pretty close to the real TU score. It's not a FACO score like, you know, that you get at the other places. I've pulled mine several times. Mine has been within 10 points, 5 points of my actual TU score, so it's pretty accurate. Anyway, so it's inside. It's a consumer education tool. Great way to boost your bottom line. It's a pipeline, you know, building incubator essentially, and it gives them the same type of recommendations that you see in the Score Wizard or the Credit Analyzer. If you've ever run Credit Analyzer, it says, look, here's your score, here's why it is what it is, and here's what you can do over the next amount of time to get it better. Same thing inside of iQualifier. Inside there, we've got marketing flyers that you can use, some promo stuff. It's just, this is kind of a little flyer about it, corny joke about the golden ticket. This is what it would look like from inside, from the borrower's perspective. All right, tells them what their score is, credit history you should focus on, you know, just gives them recommendations. I know it may be a little tough to read. This is also what they're going to be seeing inside of it, what their current score is, what their forecasted score is. If they take the certain actions, if they do these, they'll get a pop of 53, 65, etc. Okay? Same thing, a little more detailed explanation of what's going on with their, their credit and what they can do with it. Action plan. To get 6 points, here's what you need to do. To get 34 points, here's what you need to do. Okay, so how do you know when somebody's ready? We've got a lender portal piece to this where you log in to this website and you can see who is in your oven cooking. All right? You get their name, their phone number, and the last time they've logged in, so you know if they're actively trying to work on getting their credit better. You have the ability to set their target scores, and then the email notifications that you get will be when they register, cancel, or when they reach their target score. So if your target score is 640, when you can work with them, maybe set it at 635, you know, somewhere around there, so that when they get to 640, now they're all that, right? I mean, they think that, hey, I know you told me about this, but I may still go shop you. So get them right before they're ready. We're really having a lot of success with this tool. That's, yes, I'm sorry. That's right. That's right. That is right. That's the point of the code. Good. Thank you for covering that for me. That ties that consumer to you, that promo code. All right. And then the flip of this is where you pay for it for them. Okay, so this is $250 per branch, or corporate can cut a deal with us to pay for it for all branches, but a lot of branches in their marketing budget say, look, I'll throw in an extra $250 to get 2 or 3 extra loans, 4 or 5 extra loans, whatever it is, you know, 10 loans a year, depending on how many LOs you have. So you'd give that promo code if you're on our Home Buyers Club version of this. When they go get their credit report and then they enroll, it doesn't cost them anything. All right, it's free because you're paying for it. I'm sorry, what? $250 a month. Yeah, and we might could work on it to get it down. You know, we'll talk to Greg or corporate or whatever, but that's just kind of a starting point. If there are multiple branches that wanted to do it, we could probably do better than that. All right. Pardon me? Where you need to be. All right. I like the way you're working, man. No, really. I mean,
So you mentioned earlier that the trial period was to get the credit for free, but then it's going to charge them $45 a month.
yes. If they enroll, it's. I'm sorry.
What is this $250 a month?
That's where it doesn't cost them anything. That's where you're paying for it. Your branch pays for it. For everybody in your branch, no matter how many LOs, you can send. It's basically an all-you-can-eat thing where you send anybody you want over there. They can enroll for that price. And to answer your question, brother, I mean, I can't speak for our VP of our iQualifier, but we can definitely talk. Okay, especially if there are multiple branches. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys are good. Like it. All right, so that's what Home Buyers Club is, and I lied to you. I said I couldn't talk for 50 minutes, but it looks like I'm about to. So let me just speed this up. I'll run through this trended data. Are everybody up on trended data? Do you know what's coming? Okay, so this is a Fannie Mae 10.0 thing. Start learning about it, okay, because it's coming and you can't stop it, all right? The bureaus and Fannie Mae are going to start requiring this of your bureau. Your credit report price is about to go up, and it's coming from the bureaus. And whether you use me, Advantis, or any other company, like one of our competitors just released their pricing. Their price is going to go up $7.50 per borrower. Okay, so I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this is coming. All right, and so essentially and it comes on June 25th, June 24th, I think, is when Fannie is doing it. We have some webinars about it. Feel free to come and sign up for them. You guys are already a customer. Fannie Mae is holding webinars. Start reading about it. Essentially what it is it tells you if your borrower is a transactor, or a revolver. So you pay your bills off every month. I'm the revolving credit guy. I'm barely making my minimum payments. We both have FICO scores of 750, okay? So right now, we're both getting the same pricing, all right, as long as the ratios are intact, okay? But in Fannie 10.0, you're going to get better pricing than I am because you're a better risk. So that's essentially what it is. It's going to drill down and show you how he's paying off his mortgage every month or how he's paying off his bills. You'll see, is he paying ahead? Is he just making the regular payments? And so, again, I'm a little tight on time here, so I'm just going to kind of fly through this. But that, in a nutshell, is what it is. What accounts qualify for trended data or don't qualify? These will not be shown with trended data. Authorized user, collection accounts, duplicates, obviously, medical collections, public records. Okay, so here's some of the key dates for you. June 25th is when it's coming out. The data right now is already on our credit reports, but you can't see it yet. But as of April 1st, the bureaus started pushing all that data onto us. The only two bureaus that are doing this right now are Equifax and TransUnion. Experian is not. They'll come out sometime in 2017 on it. So right now it will not have an impact on credit scores, okay? Just because of that example that I just talked about, But here's kind of what it's going to look like, all right? What's their scheduled payment? What was their actual payment? What's their balance? All right, so your credit reports are going to go from being 10 pages long to 30 pages long. Yeah, it's not the greatest thing, okay? So let me see if I can just hop out of this real quick. I'm going to go hit Lending QB for you. Essentially, Lending QB, I'll just show you one thing here. Just flip over this. As I said, you guys, you know way more about Lending QB than I do, but here's what it would look like when you're trying to order a product inside of Lending QB. Order new product, export button. You can export your products back into the eDocs area, and you can bring your supplements back over also. But that may look more familiar to you than it does to me. But we've got a spreadsheet, obviously, a slideshow, and can do a training with you. Anytime, if you guys do decide to come on with us, we'll hold a training for your branch. That we'll get our sales support people, our Credit Plus University people. We'll walk you through everything one-on-one, answer your questions, and show you how it works with Lending QB. But just know, the thing to know about Lending QB and us is that it's the same company. All right, so the guys wrote it to be easy. Every product that you need access to is inside there. You're not going to have to hop out and go log into the work number or anything else. You'll be able to do it straight from inside Lending QB. Any questions on that part of it? Let's go, baby. Ready? All right. So almost out of time. Let me just show you one more thing on pricing. Get out of there, sorry.
Real quick on that, write it down.
Yes, sir.
Do you know typical groups authorized users to impact customers or no?
No. Oh, well, it may, yeah. Yeah. I would think you could, yes. All right, but no, you're right. You're right. You got me. You're not. It's not going to take into account authorized users. That data will not be on there. Okay? So if that's one of the tricks in your bag, then better find a new trick.
Previously, the safety scores were the same, they'll all be the same.
At some point, okay, right now, the engine, the Fannie 10.0 is going to see that I'm a revolver, he's a transactor, he's going to get better pricing. But as they come through different releases and versions of it, his score will be better than my score. But right now, it's not. Yes. Well, I mean, the better, I'm assuming that it's going to be better pricing. And when it comes out of Fannie, it's going to be a different version of eligible is what they're telling us. Just start reading about it, okay? Yes, ma'am. The answer we keep getting on that, because we've been on this since like October, right? Have had several webinars with Fannie Mae. And when you ask that question, they say it's in our black box. I mean, it's part of our secret sauce. And so I'm sorry I can't answer it, but yeah. Okay, guys, 1 minute left. Let me just quickly show you some comparative pricing, all right? So here's where you are with the Vanis. Here's where you are with us. Ours includes this fraud piece that is very detailed. Here's where you are on their 3-bureau joint. Here's where you are with us on a 3-bureau joint. This interface fee right here for LendingQB, they're charging you $50. We're charging you $0. Same for trade line updates. We're a little under them on secondary use fees. We're under them on Credit Assure. That's the thing that tells you, hey, you got a potential 5-point increase on this guy if you want to go do it. Their Loan Shield is $975. Our complete Fraud Plus report is $940, but since it's included in our credit report, if you order the other fraud from us, that's going to be more like $7 because you've already done the borrower identification piece. Tax transcripts with them, $12.25, us, $9.75. Floods with them, $15, floods with us, $12. Any other questions? There's a service agreement in your in there. You can fill that out if you want an electronic version of it. Hit me on my card. I've got more business cards over here. You can hit me on it. I'll send you an electronic version. The setup process is they'll come to a physical inspection of your office. They're looking for signage. They're looking for shredder and a locked filing cabinet or a locking desk drawer. Okay. If you are paperless and don't have a filing cabinet, just point them to a desk drawer and say, that's where I store my stuff, okay? Because there does have to be a locking desk drawer somewhere in there. It's about 3 to 5 business days to get set up because of that inspection piece, right? And then we'll get you set up. And the accounting back end of it, we've already worked all out with Greg, and we're good with how they want to do things. Yes, sir. You are with a different company? Or you were? Yes, you will. Because Again, I don't know why, but I don't know why they can't take the inspection off of your old one onto your new one, but they won't. We're audited much like mortgage companies are audited by HUD. The bureaus audit us, and you can't do battle with them, right? They say this is how it's got to be, and that's one of the things that they will. You're not having to pay for it anyway. I know you're having to still deal with them coming out, but we're taking up that charge. I do agree with you. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
No, on that lending hand, you might have said, lending hand, you said somebody else could take over the bank from the borrower. What to do and how to go about it. Do we still have access to do those different?
Yes.
Ourselves and run it and do it our own?
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got access to them. Good? All right, guys. Look forward to doing business with you. I appreciate y'all's time.